Hey there, how's it going? I'm here in Northern California. That is Lake Mendocino I'm looking at there. And so this is another in my series of travel tales, telling some of the various stories from my wanderings around the world over the past 25 years. And this one is about getting lost at sea in the Philippines. Now, as you'll see, we weren't exactly lost, but it was a close call situation. And so I was on the island of Palawan, and I was at the beginning of an amazing journey to Asia that involved going to the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, and then India. And I had about three and a half weeks or so in the Philippines. And I'd singled out Palawan because I'd read something somewhere that made it sound very nice. And so I just planned to spend my whole time there on the island of Palawan. It was a really cool place to visit. Nice beaches. The underground river in a cave that is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world that was voted in a internet online contest a few years ago. And so I was at that underground river. It's called the Puerto Princesa underground river. Puerto Princesa is actually the main city that is on the other side of the island, but is where the airport is. And so I'd flown into there from Manila, and then traveled by jeepney, which is a common form of public transportation in the Philippines, that are these big sort of pickup trucks with seats in the back that they pack the people into. They're leftover army vehicles from the American presence there. And so I had already visited the underground river and was then planning to head north from there up the island to El Nido on the northern tip of the island, which is a very picturesque little village on the coast, on the northern tip of the island. And then that would finish up my trip, and then I would head back to Manila and continue on to Malaysia. And so I was planning to go by bus from there at the underground river. Then I would have had to take a bus back inland and then go up the middle of the island, which was supposed to be quite a crazy journey. The roads are very rugged, dirt, potholed roads, especially if it's rain, that can be really rough. And so I was at a little restaurant by the bamboo huts where I was staying there, and I ended up talking with some other travelers there. I believe the man was from Scotland or somewhere in the UK, and then his girlfriend was, I think, German. And they were planning to take a boat from that little village along the coast up to El Nido. And so this would be a more direct route. It may have actually stopped at some other little village along the way, and then I would have had to take bus or something, I forget exactly, but anyways, it would have cut out a lot of going back the way that I'd come, getting there by bus and then going up through the center of the island. And so it was a good way to save a fair amount of time. And so they had arranged this boat, and they needed another person to come along with them. And so we planned to make this journey the next day. I would meet them in the morning, we would go to the boat, and then journey up the coast, and then get off in whichever little town we were going to get off from there. And so in the morning, I meet up with these guys at the restaurant. We have breakfast, get all packed up, and then we put on our backpacks, and we go a little ways from there to where the boat is going to meet us. Now, I should mention these guys have bicycles. They are on a bicycle trip around the Philippines. So they have their bicycles and their backpacks and other luggage. And so we go to where this boat is, along with the man from the huts who had been involved in arranging this. Then another guy joined us, and he had a boat engine in his arms. And we were like, what's the deal with that? And he's like, oh, it's the engine for the boat that you're going in. We had to fix it. We're like, okay. We get to the boat, and the boat is the most ramshackle looking thing you could imagine. This very small, skinny little thing that seems to have been put together by, scattered pieces of wood found at the dump or whatever. Just totally fallen apart looking. And so he takes the engine and puts it in the boat, and they start it up. And now I should also mention the man from the bungalows, the older gentleman, and the other man who came with the engine, they don't come in the boat. He puts the engine in the boat. 3 young boys are the guys that are driving this boat. And so we all pile in, and it's already arranged, and I didn't think to stop the whole thing, and I'm already paying for my share and all this, and it seems like it should make sense since we're doing it, so it must make sense, right? So we all pile in there along with our bicycles and all of our backpacks. It is a very tight fit for us to squeeze in there, and we are now going to begin this journey up the coast, several hours along the coast of this island, which has no road along it. As I mentioned, in order to take the bus, I would have had to have gone back inland and then gone up the middle of the island, because there's no road going along that coast there. There is only 1 or 2 villages along the way to my ultimate destination of El Nido. Other than that, it is jungle. It is wilderness. Not somewhere you want to break down in a boat out in the water. And so we all pile in there, and I'm definitely having some trepidation and some kind of weird feelings in my belly of this doesn't feel like the most secure situation. And so we're puttering away from the shore, and the engine dies. And so the boys start it up again, get it back going, we keep on going. The engine dies again. These young boys get it going again, we keep on going. This happens, I don't know how many times, 6 or 7 or something, and each time it happens, I'm getting closer to saying something to the other travelers that I'm with about, maybe we should turn this thing around, because this does not feel like a secure situation to end up breaking down along this remote coast of the Philippines. Finally, the engine cuts out once again, and they can't get it started. And the truth is, this was probably a great blessing. I was working up to saying, let's turn around and head back anyways. But when that happened, then they could not get the engine started again whatsoever. And so we had no choice but to head back to shore, which fortunately was not that far away. We'd only gotten maybe a mile or something away from the shore there. The young boys then start looking around for an oar. At the bottom of the boat, they find one funky wooden oar and start rowing us back to shore. They didn't even seem like, they knew whether there was an oar there or not. I don't know what the hell this situation was, like why this guy set us up in this kind of a scenario that was so just an accident waiting to happen. But we were lucky in that we didn't get very far, and so they start rowing us back, and it was a long, slow haul getting back to shore with that one oar. But finally we got back there, and I was very, very lucky and thankful to get back on dry land. And I then, that very morning, headed to where the buses leave and started my bus journey, heading inland and then going up the island that way. I've taken plenty of boat rides in the course of my travels in various island places, Belize and Malaysia and other places, Colombia, and it's always been a modern boat, a secure-looking rig, that I felt perfectly safe about. So this was a very unusual situation. I'm just lucky, and glad that it worked out as it did, because I would be telling a very different story if we'd made it 20 minutes even, 30 minutes, an hour up the coast, and then that had happened. Then we'd be, fighting our way through the jungle. Lucky to get out of that alive. So pretty crazy incident, but you know, it's a story to tell. All right, thanks for watching. Take it easy.